Welcome back, guys. It's July 27th, 2011. It's Wednesday edition of Down the Rabbit Hole. This is the final segment. I'm joined by Paul Topete and JJink.
The infamous JJ.
Yes, the infamous JJ. JJ is still alive, listeners. A lot of people were worried, JJ, that they hadn't heard hide nor hair of you in like 2 weeks.
They were hoping.
Yeah, see, JJ does 3 shows a week. JJ does do 3 shows a week, people. So just in case anybody that doesn't understand why some people were worried, because JJ does 3 shows and all of a sudden he just wasn't on the air.
No.
So some people were worried that maybe JJ got whisked away, and I said no, he's fine, and he did not quit. So
no, I didn't.
And he's still here, and he'll be back
because of this. I got great friends. Paul Topete, dude. You are a great friend, beautiful man. Listen, these guys play anywhere. If you got a message of freedom and you can get them there, these guys will play. I really respect them, and I'm glad. I will always be.
Yeah, if anybody knows a booking agent or anything out there, and you guys, or if you're listening and you are a booking agent, because I know people all over the world listen to my show. So, if you are an agent of some sort and you need you book gigs, you should really check out POKERFACE. If you have any balls, at least. If you don't, then don't even bother, because I'm sure Paul will set you straight within 3 or 4 seconds. So don't even bother wasting your time.
Somebody call them a heavy metal band.
I really, I wouldn't consider heavy metal.
They're good hard rock, man.
Yeah, hard rock.
And they're tight. They have a good sound, good message, and they've got a good little crew of guys. The Amaros, the Tank. They've got a good crew of other bands that will go around with them. So they're a ready-made event. So put one together.
Yeah, put an event together and invite POKERFACE, and if you guys have if you guys have an event,
I'm not going to have them up for a keg party though. I'll have a real event.
Yeah, have a good have a screening, or if you're going to have like like an event like Paul puts together, do stuff like that.
Totally out POKERFACE pocket.
Yeah, check them out, because they I got to give them credit. They really do a lot of stuff. They try to inform the masses, and they it's not like Paul has like some corporate backing or anything like that.
Brother, we're of the people, by the people, for the people.
Where can they check you out, Paul? I know you got a website. Go ahead and plug your website and plug whatever upcoming gigs or anything else you want to plug. Go ahead.
The best way to get a hold of us is go to POKERFACE, oneword.com. Hit the contact. We answer every email. Our fan base is very different because it's very educated and we're very informed of what's going on in America. We have another cool gig coming up at Knob Creek Machine Gun Shoot, which is 14th, 15th,
yeah.
of October. And that place rocks, man.
I am so going to try to make it this year.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is an event I wish I could get to, but I can't. I can't even afford to get up to 9/11 this year because I'm having issues in my personal life with my piece of crap vehicle. And
I knew you were going to cop out on me.
Well,
dude.
It's not really a cop out, but it was a choice of not having a vehicle to get back and forth or take a trip. So I had to sacrifice the trip. But I'm trying to organize something special down here in Florida. I'm trying to organize like a huge screening / DVD giveaway. So if anybody down here in South Florida or Central Florida has a place that they want to maybe just donate the space, and if we decide to charge, like the only thing we would charge is maybe $5 a head, so you're not really going to make any money on it. It's just a matter of I need the space for a couple hours. I have all the pretty much everything. If it has a TV screen or a projector, that's a plus. But if someone is into freedom and stuff, and believe me, we'll give you kudos and mad advertising for giving us the free space. But if you can, if anybody's got a free space, contact me at info@federaljack.com and let me know, because I could greatly use the space. That would be awesome. I'll provide the DVDs and everything to give away to the people, but I would really like to do something to wake up the Mazes down here in Florida. You know, there's going to be a decent event in New York, and I would love to be there. But since I can't, I would rather use that time when people are focused on what happened to educate them. So, and if in the future I ever get a big enough event, Paul, I will definitely call you guys up and bring you down. But right now I'm trying to just go for a screening space and / free DVD giveaway. What are you doing for September 11th? Are you going to New York?
There's always that possibility. There's a group that are trying to do something that has nothing to do with Alex Jones, and we'll see if we do something with them. So keep an eye and ear out for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you're not with the king of infotainment, dude,
Yeah.
It'll be good, though. It's all right. It'll be good. I recommend everybody do what you can.
Yeah,
there is
honestly,
no right. There is no wrong. The right thing to do is whatever you can freaking think to do.
You don't have to run to New York either, for September 11th. Hold your own screenings. Have your own events. Put it together. It's not that hard. I've sent out over 100 of those hard drives that I make. So I know they're floating around out there. Grab
That's a terabyte of info, too.
2 terabytes. All you got to do is take a laptop with maybe a couple of movies in a video format, plug the laptop into the projector, and it's not going to lose any of the quality or anything. Okay, it's all set up that you won't have to worry about that. So just as long as it's a decent quality video, you play it in Windows Media Player, and it plays it on the projector. That's how they do it at colleges and stuff. It's not that hard. Try to organize something at your local library if you can, or your school. Talk to your neighbors. Put the message out there. Put it on Twitter. Hey, I'm looking for a place. You never know. Somebody might respond. Put it on Facebook. If everybody went out and did their own things, especially for September 11th and the John F. Kennedy assassination, it's very important to remind people about that too, because every time I do something with, the JFK assassination, like I just interviewed Lee Oswald's girlfriend, Judith Farry Baker. Okay? And I had people were like, "Oh, Popeye, why do you care about JFK? That was so long ago." Because that's
the same people that 9/11, man.
Yeah, exactly. The same people that did it are responsible. And they're like, but who cares? Because that stuff is super important for people to understand how 9/11 could even happen. You have to understand, you have to go back 40 years so you can understand how everything changed. You can't...
Exactly.
JFK, RFK, MLK.
Well, see, they killed Bobby because Bobby was going to...
He was going to reopen the investigation into his brother's murder.
Oh, dude, without a doubt. He was going to open it. He said to LBJ, "Why'd you have my brother killed?" See, a lot of people don't realize that if there was a second Kennedy term, Johnson wouldn't have been the vice president. He would have been arrested and in jail because of all the corrupt things he was involved in.
Along with George H.W. Bush.
Yeah, Bobby Kennedy was working when he was the attorney general on putting the then sitting vice president in jail. You don't see that kind of crap now. And don't get me wrong, again, I'm not saying the Kennedy brothers were perfect, but that takes a brass set of balls for the attorney general to be going after the vice president. You certainly don't see that kind of crap going on anymore.
Not anymore. Exactly. They're under control now.
Well, you know what? Even Judith made this comment during the interview that it's like it lines up with what Bill Hicks used to say. When the new president comes in, they bring him into a room and they show them a never-before-seen angle of the JFK assassination. And they don't say anything. They just play it. And then at the end of it, the lights come on and they say, "Any questions?"
Nope.
And it's incredible, dude. You have to understand that there was a coup d'etat in this country, over almost 50 years ago now. And until people respect that and understand what happened then, we can't understand why we have the kind of government we have now. The beast that, 9/11 occurred because of, if JFK had not been assassinated, just think by that act alone not happening, how different the world today would be.
We'd have treasury notes, probably wouldn't have that many FRNs out there anymore. We would have the CIA disbanded.
Well, there wouldn't be a CIA. The CIA would be gone. Who knows? The Vietnam War never would have happened because he was bringing home all those troops. So that, this kind of stuff is important. And the things that have happened since then have all kind of spawned off of that event. So to me, it's a linchpin event, just like 9/11 is a linchpin event. That's
Absolutely.
That's my personal
OKC.
opinion. And you know what? Since nobody else and not many people really talk about JFK, since I've come on air, I have done a bunch of shows about it. And every time I did a show and every time I aired an interview with anybody about JFK, it's never been some slap-together show. It has always been super informative. And I always tell people where to go check the stuff out and everything else because nobody really wants to talk about it. There's not many documentaries out there about it. There's not many people that talk about it, so I do what I can.
Jim Fetzer loves to talk about it.
Oh, Fetzer.
And incidentally, guys, one of these days, real soon, I'm going to have him on the show, and we're going to talk about the Lockerbie bombs.
Yeah,
POKERFACE, POKERFACE.com, guys. The 6th annual Live Free or Die Fest. Thanks, Popeye, for having me on. Paul, I'm going to call you.
No problem, JJ. Paul, thanks
for having me. Awesome, brother. We'll do it again.
Go check out Paul's website, POKERFACE.com.